Tyran. What up, baby?
Cheers. Toast the crime.
Certain malls we was built upon it. Some are living through them, some were killed upon it. Gonna deliver opinions how we feel in moments. Straight deliver the real with no filter on it. Breaking news, what's the breaking news? Had you wondering where he gon' take it to? Just getting some shit off of his chest. So welcome to Big Talk with a vet. The First Amendment is freedom of speech. We here to debate, we eager to teach. There's some misinformed people we eager to reach. And there's a bunch of information we needin' to see. The homie Tyran got the pot on lock. Lot of props, this the equivalent of the barbershop. Some topics light, some heavy, some life, some deadly, some right, some messy. But the homie speaking his truth, so just listen. And he ain't really giving a fuck about your opinion. The mission, open your ears, you can let him in. This Big Talk with a veteran. Certain malls we was built upon it. Some are living through them, some were killed upon it. Gonna deliver opinions how we feel in moments. Straight deliver the real with no filter on it. Breaking news, what's the breaking news? Had you wondering where he gon' take it to? Just getting some shit off of his chest. So welcome to Big Talk with a vet.
It's Big Talk with a vet. Tyran Cosby. You already know what the fuck it is. No filter.
Beer Talk with a Vet is a raw, uncut, and unfiltered conversation about the minority male experience. Hosted by retired U.S. Marine Corps veteran turned CEO Tyran Cosby. Whether you are a rookie in the game of life, a seasoned vet from the School of Hard Knocks, or somewhere in between, sit back and listen, laugh, or learn as Tyran sounds off about hot topics, culture, and manhood. Here's Tyran.
Stay the night at your house, call me on the phone, tell me you're not coming home, said that I'd be there alone. I went back to sleep till morning.
I smoke my last cigarette over a cup of big regrets. I ain't got nothing left. I ain't got nothing left. Memories and photographs. Memories and photographs. I can still hear your laugh. I can still hear you laugh. Take back what I said, wish I could come back to me. They can add it up, take it back, did it to me. Broke down crying here without you, learn my lesson. Show more love, more. I smoke my last cigarette over a cup of big regrets. I ain't got nothing left. I ain't got nothing left. Memories and photographs. Memories and photographs. I can still hear your laugh. I can still hear you laugh. Memories and photographs.
Tripping out and throwing back. Ain't no use in going back.
Always makes me cry.
I smoked my last cigarette over a cup of big regrets. I ain't got nothing left. I ain't got nothing left.
Memories and photographs. Memories and photographs. I can still hear your laugh. I can still hear you laugh.
What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing out there? It is me, it is I, it is he, it is I, Tyran, aka the Gunny Cosby. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Beer Talk with a Veteran. And today I wanted to talk about something that's, to me, I feel like it's pretty juicy. I hear the comments and the talk sometime amongst men when we're together, and sometimes those talks are could you be maybe a house husband? Could you be a stay-at-home dad? Could you be at home basically while your woman is out making all the money? And if your woman is out doing that and she makes more money than you, could you take that as a man? Now, me personally, I've been married for 30 years now. Well, I've been with my wife for about 30 years, 30 plus years actually. And one thing I could definitely say is she's pretty much always been established once she started her career. You know, I was a Marine, and I think we all know we don't have to be no fools to know that a doctor and a Marine's pay is nowhere near in the same hemisphere. And if it is, then you know, I guess it's wrong. That's one hell of a Marine, or that's one dumb doctor. Who knows? But pretty much, in my case and in my marriage, my wife has always been she started out, her basic pay was way over mine. So the question would be for me, was that ever an ego check with me? I really don't think so. I don't think so. And maybe my wife can tell a different story to things because I don't know. Maybe I blocked that part of my life out or so. But to me, I've always felt that no matter who I got with, we were going to work together. Like it was never going to be I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take care of all the bills and I'm going to do this while you stay at home. It was never that with me. I was never even raised that way. I've always seen my mom work, married and everything. She's always worked. Now, whether that was a choice of hers or, you know, maybe my stepdad say, hey, you ain't going to stay in this damn house unless you work. Like, I don't know. But I've always seen both of them work. So to me, I've always thought that a household, you know, both parties are supposed to work. Now, I do understand in some households, things get a little different. You know, you start having kids and you start having a family, and sometimes maybe you don't have as much trust with the world as you once upon a time did. So you don't want your kids to come up the way you did in maybe a public system, even a private system. You may just want to homeschool them. So a lot of times people stay at home because of a life choice, life decision, whatever, but they'll stay at home. Yeah. In those cases, that's still fine. It's just me personally. I've always been like, no, as long as our hearts are beating, we're going to get our butt out here and work, the two of us. Now, again, in my case, my wife was she was smart enough to get an education where her base pay is enough for probably the average person to live off of forever. Her base pay. So now she begins to go up in pay, and that means that pay gets higher and higher. The thing I've always loved about my old lady is I've actually seen her grind. I've actually seen her work. I've seen her sit at home and study books in the wee hours of the night when it's cuddle time, when it's time to watch movies, when it's family time. Sometimes she can't function with the family because maybe there's a big test or there's a board certification or there's different things she got to do that she got to study for. So it's kind of like she got to block herself from the world. And it's kind of like you understand that. But nevertheless, you know, I guess I get to see what it's like to be a dependent sometime. When I got deployed, well, it was just that. It was work to me. But to my wife, that was a life-altering change every time that I moved. So I would say that this is probably the same situation. So I would say this. So basically, my wife's, her pay as she come out, she's just basic. So have I ever had that problem? No. And I never raised my kids to kind of expect to be that way either. So I figured today would be one hell of a great day to not just talk about it. Then I'll bring in my other half. And I want to talk to her about some finances amongst couples. How did we get to certain places? Things that helped us. I hear a lot of advice from other people and other couples. And sometimes, you know, their advice worked for them. Maybe not so much for us, but maybe our advice will help somebody out there. Most importantly, I know our advice will help our kids, who I definitely 100% want to get a lot of this knowledge. So without that being, actually, you know what? I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, I'm going to bring on the great doctor. So we'll be back.
Falling out the window, shackles on my feet. I got in too deep. I think it's time to leave. Falling out the window, learning how to let go. Hold on when I let go. Hold on when I let go. Falling out the window. Push me out the window. I'm ready to fall. Dying fast, we live slow. I'm risking it all. I'm in too deep. I'm going underneath. Maybe this ain't for me. Falling out the window, learning how to let go. Hold on when I let go. Hold on when I let go. Falling out the window, 3 stories out the window. I'm in too deep. What's come over me? Is this really happening? I needed to be free of you, be free of me. Don't shed a tear, you couldn't stop it from happening. Falling out the window, I'm in too deep. Learning how to let go. It's happening.
All righty then. All right, so we are back, man. Thank y'all again, once again, for tuning in to Beard Talk with a Veteran that you are listening to over here on the Veteran Social Circle Radio, and more than likely my Podbean podcast. The person that I want to bring in now, if I could give a quite quick introduction on, I would 100% say is probably one of the coolest doctors that I personally know. It's not just the fact that I'm married to her, but it's like the things I get to see her do. The person that I'm calling in, I get to see her weekly go give her most expensive education away for free to veterans and their families to ensure that they can kind of get the proper help. All right. And that's just like one of the things I get to see her do on a regular day basis. But one of the most important things that I get to see and I got to see was our next guest raise my kids. When you get deployed, sometimes, you especially if you got a family, it's like that trip over there just to a combat zone is enough to just kind of kill you with stress alone. Even though I had those feelings as I was going over there, one thing I never had was the doubt of if my kids were going to be okay. I never had to fear that. I never had to fear that because the next guest that I'm bringing in, my wife, well, man, that's just one hell of a woman. So I can sit here and toot her horn all day, giggity, but I won't. All right, I'm going to bring on in. So my next guest is Dr. Deirdre Evans Cosby. Hello, Doc. How are you?
Hey, honey. How are you? I'm good.
I'm Honey Gunny. I like that. I like that. I think I'm gonna dedicate this hour to we're gonna call it Gunny and the Doc. How about that? Gunny and the Doc.
I like it.
Okay, cool. Not like you really had a choice, but
I mean, it could be Doc and the Gunny, but okay.
Either way, honey, I wanted to bring you in today because I know that sometimes when we're dealing with family, with money, with work, with stress, with everything, a lot of times our mental has everything to do with that. So I know that you are a good person to talk to the mental side, but you also experienced the side of raising 2 boys, obviously, while I was gone. And in that process, you had to deal with a lot of things, not just boy stuff, but you had to teach them finances. Even if it was just, hey, here's $5, go put it in your bank, or it's birthday money, whatever, you taught them that. So I wanted to bring you in today to say, what is your knowledge on certain things? All right. So first of all, I want to say, how would you like to introduce yourself, if you would, Doctor?
Just that. Deirdre Cosby. I am a psychiatrist. I have been in practice for over 25 years if you include my training, and board certified by the Board of Psychiatry and Neurology. I do
Mm,
clinical work and I train other doctors and medical students.
okay. That's a pretty impressive resume you got there, Doc. All right.
Thank you.
Pretty impressive resume. Well, I want to say this, honey. First of all, when you get into finances, and we start talking about money. So when I say finances, we're talking about money, how we utilize money. I know most of that should have probably come up from the way that we was raised. So my first question with you is, in your experience with money, like how did you come up with it? Was your parents rich? Were they poor? Were they just giving you money? Like what?
Oh, I wish. I don't think we were raised that different, honestly. Like, we did not have a lot of money. I grew up with my grandmother. We were on public assistance. We lived on a farm, so to speak. Um, so we just didn't have a whole lot of money. My parents were in college and then they moved away to start their careers. So I lived with my grandmother until I left for college. But with all of that, just never, even though we didn't have a whole lot, I don't know if I ever realized that until I went away to college, and I used to hear my mom say after, some years that she didn't know we were poor either until she went to college. I wouldn't say I was that bad, but, just really did not have the world handed to me. I had to work, and that's what it was to instill in me. If you want something, you work for it. So I never lacked for anything, definitely. There was lots of love. Never went without a meal, never went without a roof over my head, had everything that I needed. And I think that's what was important to me, even from a young age. I wanted to go probably since the seventh grade to be a doctor because I knew I needed to provide for my family, and I wanted to be able to do that. Um, with or without a spouse, like I knew I wanted to be able to provide and take care of my family, the family that I would have on my own, and to be able to help out the family that raised me. So it wasn't like we were given, born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I did not lack for anything. And I think that's the same as you growing up.
Oh, well, it's definitely the same for me. Yeah, my parents, they did the same. If I could say how did I learn about money, it would definitely be probably through watching them with hard work. Um,
Yeah.
they worked for everything that they had. Nothing was ever given to them that I seen. Probably everything was given to me and my brother at the time, but I've always seen my stepdad work probably 3, 4 jobs at a time. My mom probably
Hmm.
2. So it was just always work. So I always knew that the value of money was something that you had to work for. And
Right.
if you wanted to have nice things in life, then obviously you got to have money. So,
Right. And that nobody was going to give it to you. Like you had to go out
oh
and
yeah,
work if you wanted it.
yeah, that's my mom's number one thing. She used to tell us, like, money don't grow on trees. You know what I'm saying? Y'all think y'all can just ask me for money anytime you want it, type deal. So she would give us those speeches. Once I started working and did start collecting a check, or some money, yeah, even I too, when it's time to spend your money, now you're kind of like, I don't think I want it as much as I wanted, when it was your
Right.
money. So
Right.
yeah, so you never given anything per se. It was a work to it. So for sure. Um, I would say this when it comes to money, and even with you, what type of purchases, if you could purchase something to make you feel good, like what are the type of purchases that you would probably make? Well, let me back up. Let me ask you that question. What are the purchases maybe you used to make maybe 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and then what are now?
Actually, I don't really think I've changed that much. I feel like I've probably 20, 25 years ago would have been more into, I've never, been one into designer things, but it would have been more of the um, clothes and shoes like a typical younger person would have made without saying my age.
Right.
Um, but a typical younger person would have made just very typical things, just things that, would make you feel good, want to go out. I've never been a big partier, but I would want to go out with friends and do, whatever it was.
Hood rat stuff.
Only with my husband. But but like now, feel like most of my purchases, well, it's shifted a little bit over the years. Like I went from typical 20, 30-year-old things about, the way you look and kind of materialistic stuff to a lot of my purchases switched to what do we need for the family. So I know like right now my husband will look at the number of times that Amazon comes to my house and have something to say about that. But everything I buy is for the betterment of our family.
Mm, for the betterment of
Uh,
the family.
and now that we are about to be grandparents, my Amazon cart is full of stuff for the grandbaby already, even though, we still got like 6 months before the baby's born. But
Yeah, it's
um,
already
so
full, right?
but it's all stuff for that will benefit the family. But where I see myself switching more to is about experiences. I think we've done the materialistic thing. We still do the family thing and making sure everybody, we provide the stuff that we need to provide. Um, but it's more about experiences. Like, we'll go out and eat ourselves out of house and home, and I'm planning trips and I want to do like, that's where my focus is. I have a trip that I want to take. I have 2 trips that I'm planning for you. So it really is about just really enjoying more of the experience right now.
Right.
Now, same
So,
question back to you though, because
okay.
I know where you started from.
Well, I definitely know where you started from. And just to verify your answer, I vouch for that. My wife never really bought anything for herself per se. I think just until probably the last 3 years, she was still wearing the same shirt from junior high school.
Hey
I had to
man,
make
you
a
didn't have to
change.
tell all my secrets.
Well, I'm just saying. So it's like, yeah, you never really you would spend that money on me, the kids, or something else before yourself. So I will verify that story. Me, you would know my purchases were typical man stuff, ignorant back in the day, where I wanted um, rims, I wanted
Hmm.
cars, I wanted all the things that I felt like I never could have as a kid. Um,
Sir, and that is that going to include the 3 shoe racks that were in the closet, hidden
I said
in the
shoes.
closet? I
I
think you
said
said.
shoes.
Mm.
No, okay. So I had okay. Well, what man doesn't have an obsession with shoes? So yeah, I had an
Well,
obsession with.
I'll give you the obsession. It was the 3 hidden shoe racks in your closet. Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Tomato, tomato. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, okay, so that was my reward, I guess, to myself. And I would always say, even when I was a single man, that was a reward to myself. Every day payday, I was either getting music or a pair of shoes. It
Yeah.
was just something because as a kid, I saw how hard my parents worked. And even if I wanted a pair of Jordans, well, I didn't pretty much get them until, maybe high school or so.
Yeah.
And who knows? Now that I'm older, maybe it wasn't because they couldn't afford it. Maybe just because I wouldn't take care of it until I got older. But
Right.
nevertheless, I didn't never get them. So my mindset was, we couldn't afford it or whatever. So yeah, as we got older, yeah, I would 100% say shoes, rims, everything.
Hmm.
Now you probably couldn't get me to spend $10, probably anywhere. So my habits have changed because growth. I guess life has taught me that, what I'm saying, those same stupid things I was blowing my money on, they don't hold me any value now.
Right.
So once I had kids and stuff, so yeah, I would say probably now the same experiences. I like to see not just me happy, but I like to see you happy. I like to see the kids happy. Hell, I like to see my dog happy. So I would
Hmm.
rather do it on something that's going to make someone else smile versus me smile. So that
I
would be
agree
me.
with that. Yeah, I can see that.
All right. So I gotta ask you. So now you're a doctor, right? So you came up. You established that you came up. Nothing was ever given to you. Your grandmama probably made you sit at the table and slap you in the head to do your homework type of thing, just like everybody else. So you didn't just grow up smart. You can look however you want. I'm pretty sure she slapped you at least once, 2 times. I'm pretty positive. But um, me knowing that you work for everything that you've gotten, and the
Hmm.
whole American dream is, well, go to school, do all your homework so you can get a great job and live a great life. Well, whether that dream was real or fake, you did just that. You did just what grandma and mama said. You went and got your great grades. You went off, got a great education, and then you had a family, as you stated, and you worked for everything. So now, have you ever received the thing where people look at you and say, "Oh, you're a doctor now"? And on a financial thing, I guess I'm saying, "You're a doctor now." Oh, don't sweat, you got it. Oh, I know you got it, doctor. And do you ever get that type of stuff? And if so, how does it make you feel?
Well, yeah, I get that more than I would like to admit, honestly. Like, I really am not a fan of people counting other people's money. So, It always makes me feel a little uncomfortable. And it's one of those things where it really just depends on why they're asking, why they're saying it. I really do feel like people should work for what they have. Not that I wouldn't help somebody in need, but it's just a matter if you're sitting at home and you're looking for a handout. That really irritates me. Like everybody had the same chances I had. For the most part, I didn't. My parents were in school. My grandmother raised me just like tons of other people's that didn't have both parents in the home. Where I went to high school, where I grew up, was one of the poorer counties in North Carolina. So poor that the county actually had to sue the state because of the education system, and they lost. The state, the judge basically told them that we were promised an education, not a quality education. So when I look at people who were given more than me growing up, who had things put into place for them, had better opportunities. Yeah, I get a little salty when you're looking at me asking for money or you're wanting a soft life. I don't remember anybody except close family, you that would be up with me at 2, 3 in the morning studying. I don't remember anybody that was getting the kids, while I'm running, getting up and going to work at 6 o'clock in the morning once I started my training. Um, you know, going, taking them to school, taking them to the daycare, getting them for lunch, doing all the work, and then having to come home and do homework and get them ready for bed and all of that stuff. So as the younger folks would say, nobody was shooting with me when I was out there.
Right?
And
Nobody
so
shooting in the gym. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with
so I'm not, I don't like people counting my money, but it's not that, I don't want to help people, but it's really just the fact that I really do respect people that work for what they have. And, when I see that hustle in them, it just makes me want to help them even more, or people who are trying to help themselves even more. But I know sometimes people fall on, down on their luck and they may not have things in place. And that's a different story than opposed to somebody who just expects everything handed to them. I'm going to ask this person for money or ask this person for money, or I'm going to, try to figure out a way to beat the system or something instead of actually just getting up and going to work.
you. Right. Yeah, 100% dig that. I mean, I'm like you. You work for everything. I'm one of those people that. Well, I did 20 years in Marines, obviously. So in that case, that I gave my life. You
Right.
understand? I gave my life up. My job was to go and do everything that the average person don't want to do. So to do that for X amount of years and then finally get a piece of life that probably who knows how long I got, but I got a piece of life to live before I die. And
Hmm.
then you'll spend it by trying to help other people. The thing I don't like about it is if I help one person and let's say the next person needs help and I'm not in a position to help, then now it makes that person salty. It's
Right.
like they get salty at me because they in a position that they need help. And it's like, sometimes I get mad at that. So I just start telling everyone no. And by telling everyone no, you don't just make a few people mad. Well, you make everybody mad. And
Yeah.
it's fine. So now you can just piss everybody off and it's fine. So, yeah,
Well, now I
I
have
work
to say,
for it.
I feel like I kind of set you up for that one because people pretty much know my answer is no, unless they are in a bad situation. But it cannot even remember the number of times that people have come to you instead of coming to me, and which I've always thought, I get kind of in my feelings because I'm like, do they think I'm a bum? Do they think I'm not working? Why do they think you have all the money?
Yeah,
But I know I kind of set myself up for that because I'm gonna probably say no, and so they know which one of us is the bleeding heart here. Gunny, it is
wait,
not
so
you.
wait. So I'm the
You're
weak link, is what you trying to say? I'm the weak
you're
link in this now?
not a weak link. You're a softie.
All right.
You
Well,
will you will help everybody. Like you have proven that you will help everybody. And I think now, we've had some times that we've been burned trying to help people. So it's just
all right,
made us both kind of a little bit, do a little bit of a double take before we extend that branch, unless we know, it's family, it's somebody close that we know that they're in need. People in our lives that we know would never ask us for help if they didn't really need it, and we're likely to bend over backwards trying to help them.
all right.
And trying to make it so that we have it to help them. But you're right, like it's people who are that we've tried to help that or people that are out there that take advantage of our position, and it does turn you salty. I can agree with that.
Yeah, it turns me real salty. I mean, because again, it never stops. It never
Yeah.
stops. But um, I'm trying to think of a juicy one. So I got a list of questions here. Some are kind of from people we know, and then some may be internet based. So
Well, before you do that, I was just interested in the way when you opened up, you were talking about being comfortable
mhm.
with me making more money than you. It was really interesting because I was just reading a
Hmm.
story this morning. I know it was Ti and Tiny, and I think there's another celebrity couple that they will not let their spouse, the female, the wife, spend money. They pay all the bills, and I thought that was really interesting. Um, I've always asked you how you feel with me making more money than you. I don't really think it's ever been a big deal in our marriage. I just thought that take was interesting. And you kind of, I'm sure you know how I feel about it, being that I've never been one that a couple of ways that I've always thought about it is one that I don't ever want to depend on anybody as much as I love you and I know you love me. I would never want to depend solely on you. I think that's important to kind of have your own. But also in the world that we live in, I don't care how much money you're making, two incomes is always better than one. And so I just, found it interesting that there are couples that intentionally, and the wives are making money where the husbands are like, no, you don't pay any bills and you don't do this, you use your money for you. So it's really good to hear that you're not in your feelings about me making more money
Well, I
than
would
you.
ask you, hell, from our conversations that we had, what have I ever said when you've asked me that?
It's never bothered you.
Man, yeah, I
It's
don't give a damn. I prefer you to make the most money. Shit. What kind of question is that?
yeah,
Yeah, some men will get offended because it's an ego thing. And
right.
although I'm a man. I am a man's man. You understand? But no, when it comes to that, no. Hell yeah, two incomes are better than one. And especially when I know you're smarter than me, why the hell I want you at home with me for? You could be
I,
outside half of the time as me and make quadruple the money as me just from your brain, and we knew that.
yeah,
We knew that as like, okay, I'll even tell the story of what even when we was married, we were young parents, and my wife was in medical school, and she gets pregnant somehow, becomes pregnant and stuff, and you want to take that time out, I'm gonna sit out and no, that was my immediate answer. No, we are not sitting out. And
right.
this is even me in my young 20s. This isn't old me. This is me in my young 20s because I knew even then, like, oh man, like why would we do that? Your brain is going to be 1,000 times more powerful than mine. So yeah, I'll hold the ship now. You understand? Because now when you come in, like I'm a battleship. You understand? You aircraft carrier and battleship. You bigger. You could do more than me. So yeah, I ain't never had a problem with that. Even
Yeah, and I
now, as I sit in the bed and I lay there and I watch you go to work, as you get up in the morning and you dress so drastically, say, I can't do this anymore and I'm tired. And I lay there and I sympathize with
yes,
you,
you
honey.
do.
Yeah. And I go, I too don't want you to be doing this, honey. But if somebody out of the two of us got to do it, who's better equipped for it? You are. I got to get out here and physically work. You can just stay at a dock. You can stay in front of that microphone right there and make probably way more than I'll ever make. I got to get out here and get sweaty. So
Yeah, but
I'm
I
leaving
think
you
that's
right.
I think that's been the story, our story all along. Though it's like when one of us is we carry each other. So when I started out, like literally with nothing, we were sitting in a little one bedroom apartment with no furniture and the world's smallest TV. And just to know that you carried me through that when I had nothing, like all I was living off, loans to go to medical school, and medical school was not cheap. So my loans pretty much went to tuition. And so the fact that you made that happen for me, and then especially after I got pregnant and somehow,
Somehow,
and
what
you
does
were
that mean?
and you were on active duty, you still, you took the baby and raised Justin
Well, let's not make
by
it sound
yourself.
like that. I took the
Well, you
baby.
took the
Like
baby. You took the baby from me. But
I
you raised
raised our
you
son while
raised
she
our
finished
son
school.
so that I could finish school. And that was just always, I think the foundation of our marriage is that when one of us can do, we do. So we take care of each other. When there's been times when you've been the breadwinner, when I did not have anything, there have been times that I've been the breadwinner. We've just kind of alternate roles from time to time. But I think that's, our story. That's how we've survived. And, I always had each other's back and took care of each other. And I just think that's kind of the way that we still do it, even though right now I'm the one getting up and going to work. I do see, things different in our future where we're both doing something different and growing and expanding our careers and what we're doing. So it's good to see the trade off from time to time, and it's good to know that we have each other's back always for 30 plus years.
Ain't like we got much of a choice there, Anime. So,
Okay, Ike.
um, so let's go. Money confession. All right, money confession. Money confession of the week. What is the dumbest thing you spent money on this week? Even if it's a secret.
Well, I didn't think it was dumb. Um, I wouldn't say it was dumb. We spent a lot of money on a lunch, not even dinner, Valentine's Day lunch, and we spent almost $400 for two people, me and you. So not dumb. Again, that was an experience. It was a new restaurant. I thought it was great. So that one wasn't a secret. But my confession is the what's in my Amazon cart. Have not purchased it yet. So as we mentioned, we're about to become grandparents.
That is correct. We are about to become grandparents one more time. Yeah.
Baby not due till August, but there is an electric Jeep in my Amazon cart.
Right. Like baby don't even know daylight from nighttime, and he already got electric Jeep in the cart.
It was cute, and it's on sale.
So as we sit here and talk about money finances, and she got electric Jeep in her cart. Well, baby, that ain't even here yet. But
Well, I'm preparing. And
let
you?
me see. Dumb. I would probably say the same thing. It was probably gonna be the food.
Yeah.
About 200. Actually, yeah, about two. No, I think we probably been about 300 in just oysters in a week. That's not dinner. That's just oysters.
Yeah.
Now, that is a dumb purchase, but that is a necessity for us as foodies.
Yeah.
Because I don't buy anything else. I buy two things in my life. I buy food, I buy weed. And weed is medicine for me. So it ain't, you know what I'm saying, even recreational. It's medicine. So I got food and that's it. So if I'm gonna spend my money on anything, it's definitely gonna be food. So was it dumb? Yeah, it was dumb. Because you probably could pay the bill off or something, with that. But was it worth it?
Yeah, it was definitely worth it.
It was worth the memories, hands down.
It was worth the memories.
Hands down.
I think definitely one of the best Valentine's days that we've had. And, we really didn't do anything but eat. But it was a new place. It was food that we love. And the memory of it.
So now, how are you able to do that? What am I trying to say here? Like, how are you able to do that? If a person looks at you and they say you're able to go out and you're eating $300-$400 worth of this, I don't know. I asked you for $100. You know what I'm saying? And you said no. I don't know. Like, how are you able to do that? Still be able to take care of family and let's say balance life.
Well, I would have to look at why I said no. Like I said, I don't mind helping people that are trying to help themselves. But if I see you spending your money on, I don't know, shoes and clothes that you don't need, hey, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, I don't know, something that you absolutely don't need. And then my question is, why do you need $100? Like, didn't you see this coming? Like, I worked hard so that I could go out to lunch with my husband. I could have a good Valentine's Day. And that was me cutting back on our plans. So, it was like I budgeted for that. I knew this day was coming. It comes on the same time every single year. So I knew it was coming. I knew what bills I had to pay. I intentionally designed my budget so that I can cover what needs to be covered. But in that, I include money for us, money to enjoy life, to really get out with my husband, with my family, with my kids, and really enjoy experiences because we've worked for this. We've been working for 20 plus years. We've been sacrificing for 20 plus years. And so I want to enjoy myself now. So I included in my expenses. And not to say that, you need this $100. If you really need this $100 and you have been a good steward of your money, then why wouldn't I help you? But if you've been goofing off your money, I need my $100 because I would like some more oysters. And the beignets were really good.
Well, and this is facts. This is facts. Okay. All right.
Now, but you're in this, like I said, you're the one that people will usually come to. People rarely ask me for money. I think, rest in B face or something so they don't
Yeah.
ask. Excuse you.
No, I mean, I don't want to let you down. So
But you're the one that they usually come to. So how are you able to manage that, to decide who you're giving to, who you're not giving to? How are you able to prioritize? All right, because you cover I always say my stuff covers, expenses. When it comes to like a lot of our experiences, you're the one that cover a lot of the day to day, like just experiences, big trips and stuff. We kind of split, and
right.
big things will split. Like if we go out of town, then we kind of, one of us will pay this time, one the next time, or we'll split while we're there. But day to day stuff, I think you cover a lot. Like we eat out a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
he ate out a lot. We out of,
yeah, I
but
think
but
we.
but before
I
we
think
go, because you're making that point, but I want to go back to it because it's just that you're a doctor. You're well educated and you're paid, and you're saying I budget for the things that
yeah,
I want to do.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh, I got all this money and I go splurge. No, no,
Oh
you're literally
no.
saying, no, I got money. I pay this, and what's not even what's left. I give myself this,
Yeah,
and then I do whatever with it. It's not so. You're a doctor and you're budgeting. So when you ask me, so I'm doing the same thing. When a person's asking me for help, I'm a Marine. My first thing is finance it. You
hmm
got to have finances in the military, or else you're getting your butt kicked out. So my thing is, where's your money going? What are you doing with it? What are you
yeah,
buying? Because if you're asking me for money, do you know what my mortgage is? Matter of fact, I got two mortgages. I got several cars. I got several kids. I got a dog with
yeah.
diabetes. I got to buy him medicine every damn week and stuff. So you're asking me for help,
Yeah.
and you don't have these problems. So yeah, I got a lot of questions to ask your ass. So
And I agree. Like I think, people look at the lifestyle, they look at what we do, they look at that we ate out 6 days out of 7 last week. And, just going like we talking about the dinner what we spent for Valentine's Day. Our regular dinner for the two of us is probably about $200.
that's not
And so people look at that lifestyle and they're like, oh, y'all got it. No, like you said, it's budgeted. This lifestyle is not free. Like we planned for this lifestyle.
right.
Everything here costs, and we have expenses that pop up that we don't even know that's coming. So we plan for what we know is coming. We plan for what could possibly come, because, like we said, nothing is given to us, and this is an expensive lifestyle if you're not planning for it, if you're not preparing for it, if you're not looking into the future to see, I have to cover X, Y, and Z next month.
Right.
I love this house, but it's a lot of work.
Right. All right. Okay. And transition to that then now. All right. So for those that know us, they know us. For those that don't, well, they'll get to know us. So anybody that know that you were able to purchase your dream home, a few years ago, be able to get all your family almost under the same roof,
Yes.
minus one or two, so on and so forth. Um, damn, I lost it. Hold on, I'm going somewhere with it. It's somewhere great, honey. Hold on. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
so you going, back me up. Hey, Gronk, give me my last 10 seconds. Uh,
Well, we're talking about just being able to get everybody in here and purchasing our dream home, and how this has not been an inexpensive thing,
okay,
that we
okay,
had to
okay.
plan for.
Thanks, Doc. That's why you
Um,
stopped.
yeah, but
All
I'm
right.
not Grok.
Well, you apparently you did what Grok would do. All right. So the question was going to be, now that you know what you've experienced, um, let's take this house for example. Knowing what we pay per month for this home, this mortgage, knowing the things that have knowing the things that we got to get fixed and so on, just all the things
Mhm.
with the house and that what comes on with it. Do you feel that this was a great purchase, or do you feel like, you know what, I didn't think this through?
No,
I'm
I think a
serious.
home. No, I do. I think a home is always a great purchase. We still have our first home, um, the home that we raised the boys in. So, and to be able to give that to our oldest son, essentially, as he starts his family. He's paying rent and stuff, but still to
Right.
have it, to be able to
You're gonna
pass
pay
down.
bills, yeah. Even our kids pay bills, y'all. Mm-mm.
That's right. But being able to pass it down was important. But being able to be over here, I think this was also a great purchase. One, couple of reasons. One, it was your PTSD or stuff that we needed to get out of this
City.
subdivision
Hmm.
and move further out where there's a little peace and quiet. We have very few neighbors now. It's very quiet on the water, so that's calming for both of us. I think we both love to be on the water, so I do think it's a great purchase just for peace of mind. But then the other thing for us, we have aging parents. We have kids. We're about to have a grandkid. This would have been a great place to raise our kids. So I'm excited that we'll get to have our grandkids here. I'm excited that if our parents, any of our parents, should ever need a place to stay, because I don't think either one of us are thrilled at the idea of having to put them into a home if we
Right.
can help it. And so just having the space to actually move, heck, all of our parents here if we needed to, I think that's really good, and good from the standpoint it's heartwarming. It's reassuring to know you're in a position to be able to take care of your family like that, which was, again, what I would ask God for when I was in the seventh grade. So let me be able to take care of my family. And so
Right.
having enough space that I could move my parents, your stepdad, like anybody into this house, we would have the space for if they needed it or wanted it.
Right.
So it was definitely worth it. And just to be out of a subdivision out here in the quiet is a treat.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Sometimes you see people buy the big homes and the dream homes, especially like these, and they start learning things about them. We are definitely within that group, and I
Yeah.
too would say that. Yeah, I'm not disappointed with the purchase of it. I will say once I learned of the maintenance of it, from the grass to the pressure washing to all of this type of
Yeah.
stuff, I will say it was a little discouraging, but the home within itself, yeah, absolutely love it as well. Um, I think you stated a lot of it is, for me anyway, having it and being able to see my granny enjoy it before she passed.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
was the Hey, I don't even think I got to enjoy it. Like, we didn't even get to enjoy it then, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But to
Yeah.
see her enjoy it, to see my mom enjoy it, your mom, your dad, like just to see the parents who we actually did all of this for, not just us and the kids, but to see them all
Right.
come and be able to enjoy it and then enjoy it in good health, good spirits, can move around.
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's
And
a
I
good
also, I ain't gonna
feeling.
lie to you, I do think back to what we would be making per month if we didn't have this house and the other
Yeah.
house, all these
Yeah.
combined. It's like if we think we wilding out now,
Oh yeah.
holy moly. But I'll give all that up, yeah, just to 100% see everybody smiling, having a great time, fishing, swimming, everything. So
Out on the paddle boat like that first. I don't know if it was Thanksgiving. I think it was Thanksgiving. Our first Thanksgiving over here, we literally had 17 people in this house
yeah,
and still had some space, but 17 people slept here, ate here, like went outside on the paddle boat, went fishing, made s'mores at the fire pit. Like that was some of that one of the best experiences.
yeah, that
Growing
was
up,
like, yeah, I'm be honest, honey. Yeah, I as a person who's been on the water, yeah, that was the most epic holiday ever.
yeah,
And even though
yeah,
we were missing a sprinkle here and there, it was still like
yeah,
just to still see everybody under one roof. Yeah, like 17
right,
people. That's like Airbnb.
right,
You know what I'm saying? You go spend thousands of dollars on an Airbnb to get that type of
yeah,
stuff, and we have it every day. So it was,
yeah.
man, yeah, it's still like unreal to me. It's
I
still
agree.
unreal.
I
Uh,
agree.
so yeah, I don't disagree any of this, and even the process of us getting the house, everything that we went through. I think everything was meant to be. It was a blessing, and
Hmm.
everybody that came and has been coming to the house has been enjoying it, and it was meant to be that. So
Yeah.
yeah, hands down. All right, let's say this. This will be maybe last question. Uh, Last question. Right now, you get I don't know. Somehow we've invented a time machine and we Marty Big flyed our way back to the past here. Um, and now you happen to run across younger you. But at some time, this isn't the butterfly effect where if you tell younger you something that'll alter the future, you can actually have a nice conversation with you. Um, what would you tell 18-year-old Deirdre Evans?
Oh, I would actually that's a lot. One to keep going. It's really easy to get discouraged. It's really easy to get distracted. But just to stay focused and to keep going, to never stop growing when you're doing stuff. I think in my career, I've reached a point, I've reached a height. At one point, I felt like I had hit the glass ceiling. I had board certification. I'm the director of two different large departments, training other docs. Like I really felt like I hit the ceiling. I knew there were other steps up that I could take, but I was content. I was satisfied with where I was. And so just to keep growing, keep going, keep growing. One of the other things though that really, even in my younger stuff, like I said, I always wanted to be able to take care of my family, and that didn't change. And so that's part of that keep going part, is to be able to take care of all of my family. We went through some stuff in this country where I felt like, honestly, Black men were in trouble. Still feel like that at some point, but I felt like you said earlier, my earning potential was high enough that I personally am fine with you sitting at home and being a house husband and letting me take care of you. Uh, Mainly, my earning potential is high, but also I feel like the world is hard on Black men. I just wanted to protect you and my boys from that. And so that's the wrong reason to want you to sit at home. I do feel like, having my boys out, they still have to experience the world, but it's nice to be in a position to say, hey, if you don't want to do this for you, they got to do it. But for you, you've sacrificed, you've given 20 years of your life to this country for me to be able to, in a position to tell you, hey, just sit down, I got it. And to watch you enjoy your life, watch you um, deal with everything that you deal with. That's a good position. So I would tell 18, 19, 20-year-old me is just don't stop. Just really keep pushing.
You know what I think that's about. If I could do the same and I run into younger me, that's the most I'm gonna tell him as well.
Yeah.
Like if anything, I'm gonna tell him take more pictures and videos.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that's it. Yeah, because I'm be honest, even with the effed up decisions he made, uh, still turned out to be a damn great guy. You know what I'm saying? With a great life. So
You're
I
all
wouldn't
right.
want to. Yeah, I wouldn't want to alter it. Give or take here or there. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to alter anything because the memories I know that I've made with you guys, especially my kids, even my friends, my Marines, everything is. Nah, I don't want to change that. I want, because I don't even think it could get any better. If it could, then
Yeah.
I don't know. You may have to be dead for that one to happen. But
Well, I definitely think everything we've been through has turned us into who we are, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, arounds. Like it definitely made us who we are. It
that's
definitely
the
made us
fact of life.
appreciate
Good, the
everything.
bad, the ups, the downs. Okay, no matter.
Okay, you can start singing. But it's really good to put stuff into perspective. Like I said, we think about where we came from. We think about what we wanted to teach our kids, and just kind of the progression that we've made. It's nice to see it when we sit back and look at ourselves like, hey, we did that. But it's
Right.
also nice to be able to give the kids something to aspire to show them not just out here talking about it, but actually doing it and setting the example for them, setting the bars high for them, but giving them an alley oop to be able to, carry on. People talk about breaking generational curses. Like we set them up to do just that. And it's not that we don't want them to struggle and go through stuff. I mean, it made us who we are today, but it's still the fact that that you've contributed to the generation coming up after you, and generations coming up after you. If you've set them up as well as you could, honestly, considering that where we started from.
Right. And I would say, given 100%, you would have to pat yourself on the back. You, that is, would have to pat yourself on the back, given your upbringing, mentioning how you came up, um, how your kids was raised, watching them go off into the world, prosper as young men, coming back with a return on your investment, per se.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? With a high yielding return on your investment, meaning that your child went out, he followed the guidelines that you set forth for him, which was get a great education, just like you was taught. Get a great education, and start a great family. You build your life. Now you're watching your child transition into that same
Hmm.
thing. Then you're watching them transition into the home that he was raised in. the very
Mhm.
home that he was raised in. That home you were able to gift your child as a wedding gift to him and his wife. So it's like, yeah, when I sit here and I listen to you talk, and granted I'm your husband, but I listen to you talk, I hear the amazing generational curses, yeah, that you broke 100%. You understand? Like what else could you ask for out of life? We're taught that, well, we want to reproduce and leave a better value of us. We want to leave something that's way better than us in the world when we're gone. And you
Yeah.
100% have left 100%, not just better kids, but even as me, as a man, you made me a better man in all of this. Yes, I'm a man. Don't get it wrong and never twist it, but sometimes a man can't grow without the right partner. You know what I'm saying? So I've always had the right partner. So thanks, Doc.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate
And I agree. I would say that goes both ways. Definitely,
it.
I, no, not as in that way, but I think definitely think like, the right partner, like we were just talking about this morning, the fact that you believe in me, the way you push me to keep going, because like I said, I felt like I had reached a ceiling in my career. And it's like, you asked me years ago, like, so what's next? I'm like, I don't know. It was just kind of, I wouldn't say content, but like would have been okay to not move any further in my career. Now you're showing me different outlets and things, that things I could be doing, but the way you push me, the way that you kind of volunteer me for things that
Get you
really
out the
help get me
shell.
out there.
Yeah, you know what I'm
I
saying? Get
don't
you out
know
the
if I'm
comfort
in a
zone.
shell or if I'm just, comfortable in my new house.
Yeah, well,
Um,
yeah, but you gotta get out that comfort zone.
this is true. But, even beyond my own career, the fact that, we talk about, our children being able to be better people, have to have been given this alley oop. It's still even the stuff that you're teaching them about hard work and that the same thing that you showed me is just not to get complacent. The stuff you're teaching them about trading and stocks and the way you literally harass them at the breakfast table and ask them 20 million questions just to make sure that they're staying up on it. No matter what happens, you'll make sure that they know how to earn money and can take care of their own families and, really be a better version of us and to be, as you say, Cosby 2.0. We're the originals, but you got your 2.0s and your 3.0s out there and your 4.0s and on. And, grandkids and great grandkids having stuff and being in positions that all came from just your vision and being able to see what needs to happen for our family down the road. Whether I'm here or not, whether you're here or not, we know that our kids will carry on and be fine.
All right. And one now you talked to your last doc, but right now there may be a young doc in Meharry Medical School somewhere, starting out and they're getting ready to start into the world. As a doctor and yourself, what is some great advice you would want to not just the young docs, but let's just say even the docs that work for you. Maybe they're a little burnt out, you know what I'm saying? And they feeling like I don't know, this could be the end, whatever. What is some good advice you would want to lead them with?
A couple of things. So one is the primary thing, which I always talk about. One of my passions, one of the things that I work on, that I research on, and when I'm training my other docs, one of the things we go over several times a year is to use your support system. Really, it's going to be hard. Medicine is not easy. Getting into medical school is not easy, and when you're there, it is hell on wheels. It is not an easy job. It's sometimes a thankless job. The training is hard. It's long hours, so you have to depend on your support system. There are things that we go over with the young docs that are in training and people trying to get in. You have to study, you have to focus. So that means you also have to put just as much attention into taking care of yourself. So constantly doing stuff that feels like a reward, even if it's completing a small task, using your support system, get that bonding going on, get that person where you can go have a woo-saw moment with, even if it's the person sitting next to you, you guys know what the other person is going through. It's always good to have somebody outside of medicine because they don't know what you're going through, and it's a place where I don't have to think about this. I can just be myself. Um, and so just and really taking care of yourself, like that's going to be the most important thing. And I think for a lot of us, we don't do that. Like I said, it's that constant push because we know there's a lot to learn. There's a steep learning curve. There's a lot of work to be done. And so we don't like, me now, like I'm the same as I was when I was in training. It'll be 3 o'clock and I haven't eaten lunch or taken a bathroom break yet. And so, having a husband who's a chef, is a bonus because, even though you got mad at me
You
because
don't
I would
eat your
never
food.
eat the lunch,
Yeah.
it was still the fact that somebody was making me lunch and packing my lunchbox and things like that probably made a world of difference and took the stress off and helped with the burnout. So I thank you for that. And that's the advice that I would give them, is just to use your support system and take care of yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a big, definitely use your support system, man.
Yeah.
Like people just look at it as I'm gonna just, I'm gonna thug it out, or I don't need.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's self-inflicted pain that we're putting on ourselves. So I definitely agree.
Agreed.
All right. Well, Doc, I definitely appreciate you coming in and dropping some skinny on us a little bit, man. I don't know. Can we have you come back again there, Doc, for another Gunny and the Doc type of hour?
Of course. I got a lot of stuff to say.
Well, good. This is the place to say that then, all right? So,
Okay.
but I definitely like to have you come back maybe, I don't know, maybe we can get something going. I won't say once a week, but maybe every other week because I know you're busy. So,
Good. Thank you.
I don't pay. It's all pro bono, but.
I got some stuff that you can do to pay. I'm a foodie.
Actually, I'd rather pay. I got the money. All right. Thank you, Doc. I love you.
I love you.
All righty, y'all. That is the Doc. That is my beautiful wife, man. I do appreciate her stopping in, dropping by, and just kind of sharing some stuff that we get to talk about, me and her, a lot, but we don't really get to share it sometimes with the world like we do now. Now I think we're probably more visible and we're cool with doing it just because we know that, well, we got a young son that's newly married, and we want to ensure that we keep them on the right path. Because we know that marriage is one of those things where it's definitely a team effort. There's no Michael Jordan and there's no Pippen in the marriage. You know what I'm saying? It's straight up 50-50. I think Teddy P once said it, I ain't talking 60-40 and I ain't talking 70-30. I'm talking 50-50 love, y'all. All right, because you got to go that part. Is a man still a man in a relationship? Hell yeah, all day, every day. As I tell my wife before we do anything, I'm the man. If I'm the one you waking up when you hear a noise and you want me to go check it out, therefore I'm the man. If I got to die first, I'm the man. So it's just that. But I still need her. I still need my wife. I am absolutely nothing without her. Can I still function in this world and be a great citizen and everything? Yes. Will I be who I am right now today? I don't personally think so. I don't, because I know who I was before I met her, and I know who I became since I've been with her, and I know who I want to be with her. So it's totally different for me. But with that being said, man, this has been Beard Talk with a Veteran. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, I try to get my wife on back here, and we'll drop some more mental health things along with many other things just to kind of share our knowledge and hopefully help, whether it's in your personal life, it's in your marriage, it's at your job, no matter what. If you're a young Marine and you're new into the Corps and you feel like you don't have nowhere to go for knowledge, I got plenty of it. I got promoted like a mofo, so plenty of knowledge. So just tune in with us, man, and rock it out. All right. So this is once again has been Beard Talk with a Veteran. You are listening to the Veteran Social Circle, or you are listening to Beard Talk with a Vet on the Podbean, or you are probably listening to me on YouTube. Hell, you listen to me somewhere, basically. All right, so thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll be back with you probably next week. All right, take care.
Tyran. What up, baby? What up, baby? What up, baby?
Cheers. Toast the crime.
I smoked my last cigarette over a cup of big regrets. I ain't got nothing left. I ain't got nothing left. Memories and photographs. Memories and photographs. I can still hear your laugh. I can still hear you laugh. Pictures on my phone of the way we used to trip out. Had too much to drink, had to stay the night at your house. Call me on the phone, tell me you're not coming home. Said that I'd be there alone. I went back to sleep till morning.
I smoke my last Cigarette over a cup of big regrets. I ain't got nothing left. I ain't got nothing left. Memories and photographs. Memories and photographs. I can still hear your laugh. I can still hear you laugh. Take back what I said, wish I could come back to me. They can't add it up, take it back, did it to me. Broke down crying here without you, learn my lesson. Show more love, more. I smoke my last cigarette over a cup of big regrets. I ain't got nothing left. I ain't got nothing left. Memories and photographs. Memories and photographs. I can still hear your laugh. I can still hear you laugh. Memories and photographs. Tripping out and throwing back. Ain't no use in going back. Always makes me cry.
I smoked my last cigarette over a cup of big regrets. I ain't got nothing left. I ain't got nothing left.
Memories and photographs. Memories and photographs. I can still